Hello and welcome to Snack Play Love, where today we are playing game 2 of a draft that we started. It's kind of a mix of styles. We've got the blue, white, red Flyers deck, and we've also got the Spells Matter deck, kind of sandwiched in one place. We haven't got really enough of any one part just to play the whole of it, but the overall card quality is quite high. And we only need white for the Skycat Sovereign and a bit of the Jubilant Skybonder, and if we want to cast the Leosaur outright, but we'd rather mutate it anyway for the one with double red and get the bonuses for all of our small flyers to win. I shouldn't be playing at 45 cards though. There's just too much going on in this deck. I think I need to take a few things out. The crystal, we don't have a use for the black mana on that, so you know, the red blue crystal would probably be almost as good. If we had a cycling trigger, then we could probably play both of them, but this is it. I'm going to take out a mountain, so I'm going to back down to 17 lands, which is kind of the right amount. We could probably go for 16 lands, to be honest, but with the colours and the Bonder's Enclave as the bonus land, so to speak, I think I'd rather stick with that. Startling Development, we're just going to be cycling to power up the Blitz of the Thunder Raptors and, you know, maybe sort of trigger some of the non-creature abilities. It's not the worst thing in the world for the Spell-Eater Wolverine and the Pyroceratops as well. But this requires cast, whereas this requires graveyard. So I am tempted to take out one of the Pyroceratops, so that our top end is a little bit smoother. We can always put him back in for the next game. The recon mission for the Flyers is good. That will like cycle or draw us through. I'm much happier with 72 into 42. Still feels like the wrong number of Startling Development style instants and sorceries, but because we've only got 6 in the whole deck, it doesn't feel like we're going to draw into them very often. But okay, let's shrink everything down and see what happens. We've already lost game 1 of this. I'm not that hopeful about tromping up to our average 4.3 wins per draft. You know, sometimes it doesn't go as right as it does other times. We don't really take enough removal, and we didn't really settle into an archetype. I kind of pivoted into the Flyers deck in the third pack, so I mean, I think it was the third pack. You've probably watched the draft more recently than I did, because I did it 2 days ago. So we're heavy with lands, but we have got things we can play with them. I'm keeping this purely because Sleeper Dart draws a card. If it didn't, then we would probably be a little bit stuffed. We need one of each land down. I mean, Skycat straight away isn't terrible. But, oh, now, this might be awkward. Whenever you tap a non-land permanent for mana, produce 1 mana of any type that produced. And then you can pay to put non-humans onto the battlefield. Okay. Well, we're going to draw off the Sleeper Dart. Another land. It's unfortunate, but still. We can definitely play the Skybonder. Unfortunately, I've shrunk the pixels down on this so far. I can't really read the mana cost. I think it's 7, but we'll see. Okay, so that's something that really needs to be killed as well, because that just makes all the mutated things big. And that's clearly what you're planning to do with a deck of this type. So we've drawn another land, which is very unfortunate. More willing to trade this. kind of counterintuitive to play the creatures you don't want first, but I frankly think that he's going to be flying fairly soon anyway. Because the whole point of the dart is to use it to pass through things, but so he's got a combat trick. Ooh, pre. Okay. So the hunch that we were not going to have anything survive the first set was reasonable. And he's mutating. So that gets +1/+1 counter, and he draws a card off it. So he's emptied his hand, but he's now filling it back up. Sorry, just flickering things because everything's on the wrong layer. Okay. So, this is blue-red. So we can't play both. We don't really have any instants and sorceries in the graveyard to get back. I think we just play the Skybonder. I mean, seeing as we're on 13, if he mutates before combat, then we probably just tap it down. Ah, so he's Sultai. So now he can get us to discard a card. And we've got islands to discard for days, so we don't really mind. What's he looking for? I think we probably just tap him down. That doesn't do what we thought it did. So we still have the option to block it if he pumped it, but he's not, well, he hasn't. So we take 3. See, there's a lot of awkwardness happening in my deck right now. I need a Skycat out. Counter. Yeah, that'd be unfortunate. I have to hardcast that so that we've got anywhere near enough blockers for mutate and such. I mean, we're risking flash, frankly, but as we haven't drawn any of the pitiful amount of instants and sorceries that we have, but we have drawn 8 lands in, well, we've had 4 non-land cards. Hopefully he can't attack. Okay. Good. Enclave. That means we're 1 mana short though, doesn't it? Because we 3 mana for that and then 1 mana to make a token. So we play the tappity tap one. Then we wing Wingspan Mentor. Is that upkeep? Oh no, it's draw cards. Just, yeah. Put it on the only thing that isn't flying. Unfortunately, he's going to mutate the Wingfold Terran, so it says it's a dinosaur, but they were not dinosaurs. 7 mana for him as well, huh? I mean, are we both just flooding out? Mind you, that's not flooding out, that's able to trigger his ability, isn't it? Frankly, he, or she, could do a lot worse than wait until end of turn and doing that. I mean, I can't block that 3-3. I have to take it. And the 3-6 in the air also can't block. So I'd be taking 6 if he realises. Yep. Whereas next turn we can do a lot more. Just flat out cast the Greater Sandworm. It's a very unfortunate set of events. So we can swing for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's nowhere near enough because we just die on the swing back. I suspect that the best thing they have in the deck to cast with the Mythic is the 2 Sandworms that we've seen, or maybe the Wingfold Terran. This is a weird deck. I'm worried to why they're playing black as well. I mean, just attack for 7. Okay. So we activate. And which of our blockers do we want to go for? We go for the one that can't do much. So we're basically going to lose a creature every turn to the 7/7 at this point. So now we can only attack for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we can get attack for 1 more. And we can actually draw off the nonsense land now. Which is fine. I mean, if we had instants and sorceries, we could do stuff, but I'm thinking maybe the instants and sorceries part of the deck is the part that does not work. Oh wow, okay. What's the cast of that? 3. I mean, I have to try. Yep. Look at a quarter of your library. Choose the best card that's not a human. Oh, the Reach Spider. That's unfortunate. Go on, double block, please. Okay. because we have three options here depending on how he attacks, if he attacks. Yeah, the flying side of this deck is definitely so much superior to the instants and sorcery side. If I take the Lord Drakis out and drop some of the trixier instants and sorceries, the ones that don't do anything so much as cycle, then perhaps it's better. I mean, I'm assuming I've lost. I mean, I can't really remember what we've got that can deal with a 7/7 that attacks every turn and can only be blocked by a small proportion of my board. Okay, so basically all we can do. Make a lovely catbird. Sack a lovely catbird. I mean, we can make 2 catbirds a turn now, but it's really not that good. So that is our only way to block there. And Jubilee Skybonder is the least good of all the things we've got. Nice. That's the one we're not playing. Oops. Here's me chittering away. What's the cost of that? So that's 4. We basically need to do that. And then that. That would have worked, but no, that's a turn too late. No attacks. Good game. So he basically gets to mill himself for 1 every turn, which, I mean, I'd have loved to have been able to play that card in the draft. We have it, but it's just too far from anything that we've reasonably got. Why are you taking so long making this decision? This is intriguing. It's interesting that the Wingfold Terran has basically shut us down though. We didn't have the dart to get it done. Maybe we should have kept the dart for killing, well, tapping down the 7/7. Tempted to concede because they're clearly just messing around now. I think some people prefer concession victories to combat damage victories, just in case you've got the tricks. No, they're drawing it, and then they're... Which choice? Oh, I suppose we sack a creature, don't we? So, because we tried, well, because we drew the card, we can't put the counter on the 1/1, which is unfortunate, but so we can block those 2. We can block successfully. I don't know what he's doing here. Oops. Oh, God's sake. for lit. Well, we we can do what they're for. And then we can tap it 7/7. And then we can concede. Well, 0-2. That hasn't happened on stream yet, so it was bound to. We've had our share of 0-3 drafts. We're down a tier in the gold. Will that make the matches easier in future? Loading. The black screen does seem to be very prevalent at the moment. So based on what we've been seeing, we've never seen the Sprite Dragon. The Lord Rackets doesn't do enough because we don't have enough instants and sorcerers to come back. We don't really need all of the startling developments. Well, I don't know. If we're being flyers, see, there's our Titan's Nest, which I would love to play off the crystals and the lands, but we struggle. I think we put a menace counter on our flyers. We probably play the keep safe. Sleeper Dart's fine. So if we take out too many of the instants and sorceries, then the blitz doesn't work as well. 9, 17 still, isn't it? Yeah. There's definitely an argument, because this is non-creature spells, so the enchantments trigger this as well. I don't know why I'm going down like the old school. So there's 2 enchantments and there's 1 artifact, so there's a lot more things to trigger it than previously. So maybe, because we're not counting the instants and the sorceries in the yard from the Spelly to Wolverine, we get rid of 1, maybe 2 of those. We can still punch the little flyers to get them out of the way. Everything else has cycling, so we can get rid of it to make this reasonable. I mean, the Leosaur makes all our little tiny flyers a little bit bigger, but it's still fairly hard to cast. The con mission is good, we just never seem to get it at the right time. Yeah. Haven't got much time tonight, so I'm not going to play another game on this recording, but I think I'd be happier with these cards. I know because we've got 2 losses under our belt, we're going to face slightly easier opponents now anyway. I mean, that's the kiss of death, but it's slightly true. We definitely drew too many lands there. You know, I don't think we managed to use that to great effect. I'm going to take the Enclave out, go for 16 lands, and see what happens. But not tonight. I am going to play... Where are we? Right. We're going to play some casual games with one of our other decks, which will go up way before this draft does, probably about a week, and then call it a night. But thank you very much for watching. Let me know in the comments what you think we've been doing wrong.